Brought to you by Penguin.
Small Man in a Book by Brydon. Part 1. Born in the USA. The uplands of Swansea, actually. Chapter 1. I was born on Monday the 3rd of May 1965 at a maternity home in Swansea, South Wales, which was called, rather prophetically, the Bryn. I've often wondered how differently my life might have turned out if my parents had instead chosen the nearby James Bond Home for Expectant Mothers. Bryn, as you may know, means hill in Welsh, and the home sat on top of one such hill in Killee, the uplands area of Swansea. Mum and Dad, Joy and Howard, were just 20 and 21 years old at the time, and had arrived there the previous evening after the contractions began while they were at home watching the television. These were the dark days before Sky Plus, and so, on Mum's insistence, and despite the lengthening and by now rather painful contractions, they waited until the fugitive had finished before making a move. Just like Dr. Richard Kimball, I was keen to escape, and by the time the programme was over, I could wait no longer. Mum waddled out of the house and squeezed into the car, which Dad then steered over to Swansea. On arrival at the Bryn, Mum's waters had still not broken. They did so as the midwife was examining her. My mother was the midwife's first delivery after a lengthy period of maternity leave, and the time away from the job had softened the poor woman sufficiently that when the moment arrived, and the levee finally broke, on witnessing the deluge, she promptly passed out. That's right, a midwife passing out at the sight of someone's waters breaking. Not wishing to appear rude, my father followed suit. Bang! Down he went, leaving my mother staring at the two of them in a heap on the floor. The delivery doctor, an older and, in my mother's recollection, quite stern gentleman, had to administer to both the fainters before he could turn his attention to the job at hand. He guided Dad out to another room where he might regain his composure, and then, 2 hours later, shortly after 5:20 in the morning, returned with the words, "It's a boy, and it works." This last part of his news, a reference to the fact that I had urinated on him, in a most enthusiastic fashion, as soon as I was out and into the world. On leaving the room, he turned back to my dad, and in a glorious example of the politically incorrect 1960s, gave the following advice with regards to my mother. "Keep them pregnant and barefoot. They won't go very far." After coming in to meet his son and check on the well-being of his wife, Dad returned home to Baglan to spread the news, full of pride at having passed out only once. Mum stayed at the home for a whole week, in her own little room, surrounded by flowers and cards, her only disturbance being the sound of one baby in particular who could be heard screaming at the top of its lungs night and day from the nursery where all the newborns were herded together to give their novice parents a break. From the comfort of her bed, she couldn't help feeling sorry for the mother of this noisy little child, who was surely in for a rough ride once she got home. On her departure, Mum received the splendid news that the child in question was my good self, her little cherub, her firstborn. It was decided that I was suffering from colic, and as mother and child left the home, we did so with the advice that I would benefit, even at this young age, from mashed-up Farley's rusks to settle my poor little stomach. The pattern was set, and Mum swears I didn't sleep for the next 5 years. She and my poor sleep-deprived father would take it in turns to walk me around the bedroom on their shoulder, while they sang in what Dylan Thomas described as the slow, black, crow-black darkness of the Welsh night, waiting for my body to go limp and my breathing to slide into the telltale rhythm of sleep. Mum's repertoire consisted of Lily Marlene, You Are My Sunshine,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?